Hey, so I just wanted to show you what I'm running for my archer build. Currently, my build is centered around this legend, the lightning Tanegashima. It is pretty overpowered. If you haven't heard, what it does is it reloads instantly with a headshot or killing an enemy with the Tanegashima. This will override the long reload animation and basically lets it match the speed of a bow. The other legend that I'm running is the Skipping Stone bow. If you played Ghost of Yotei Legends, then you'll know this weapon well. If you don't know, the headshots made with this bow will ricochet to a nearby enemy. So you get 2 headshots for 1 arrow use, which is pretty amazing. The reason that I'm running these two is one, the Lightning Tanegashima is, as I said, overpowered. I got this one pretty early, playing the archer around rank 30 or so, while I got the Skipping Stone bow playing the archer about 10 ranks later. The Skipping Stone bow is the legendary accompanying it, the gun, because it will buff essentially your ultimate. Your ultimate is the Eye of Ichitsune, and so when it targets 3 enemies, it will instead target 6 enemies, or at least target 3 and then hit 6. To talk about the techniques that I've chosen, we're going with Empowered Hunt. Both of the techniques, or class abilities, are pretty good. Shadow Flame Arrow will get you some more AoE, but the reason we're going with Empowered Hunt is because in those times where you do not get a headshot with your gun, then that reload animation can cost you about 8 seconds, and if you don't do the complete animation, your gun will not reload. Empowered Hunt drastically reduces that time to reload, just in case you didn't get the headshot. Ability cooldown is my next technique. It will let you use more Empowered Hunts. Empowered Hunt not only increases your reload speed, but it also, as you see, increases the damage and range of your ranged weapons. The next perk I'm using is Resupply. So I'm able to resupply my ammo when I run out of ammunition. The passives on my equipment are pretty much focused on resupplying my ammo. In going with that theme, my ultimate is also another source of ammunition when I proc it. The best in slot is probably All-Seeing Eye, which allows you to target an additional 2 enemies. When using the Skipping Stone bow, this will make that 10 enemies hit per ultimate proc. But I'm using bountiful ammo just so I don't have to worry about running out of ammo during survival waves. So these two are focused on resupplying my ammo and making sure I always have a stock. Now let's talk about the gear. On my melee weapons, there are a few options to choose, but I'm choosing Spirit Gain on melee because The spirit is one source of ammunition, so I can keep getting shots off. The second passive on the melee weapons will be ultimate damage. You can choose ultimate damage or ultimate gain. Ultimate gain will get you more ammunition through your ultimate, but I feel like using your ultimate to clear out some waves while also having the utility works out better for me, so I'm choosing damage. For the specific weapons, I'm using the Shattering Katana because I'm not really melee focused, so I don't need the extra hit that the Aido Katana offers. Next, I'm using the Vigilant Yari. The reason I'm using this is because I'm not focused on melee. Having the automatic parry on sickles is pretty useful. I find that sickles with their fast attack speeds often can be pretty dangerous, so I prefer the automatic parry. I'm also using Quickening Tides so that I can get my Typhoon kick better. I usually have the Yari equipped just in case I want to kick an enemy off of a ledge or something. Quickening Tides helps that. Forgot to mention, on the Shattering Katana, I'm using Expert Combo, so I can extend my combo, obviously. Last of the melee weapons will be the Relentless Kusarigama. Like the Katana, I'm gonna focus on the extremely effective attribute of the Relentless, and I'm also using Expert Combo on the Kusarigama so that I can continue my AoE attack when holding the heavy attack button. In terms of the Skipping Stone Bow, both the Skipping Stone Bow and the gun will have all range damage, or all range damage as well as all range headshot damage to increase the damage. On the Skipping Stone Bow, I'm using the Critical Release passive to strengthen it. Another reason I'm using Skipping Stone, not only to boost the ultimate, but because I'm not choosing to run the Shadow Filling perk, I find that I'm lacking some AoE. Therefore, the Skipping Stone Bow will help me pick off some weaker enemies that gather in mass, because it will hit 2 enemies at once per 1 arrow. Then the Lightning Tanegashima we've already talked about, but just to reiterate, this gun is pretty overpowered. I feel like it'll probably get nerfed at some point, but just the damage output and the speed at which you can just keep firing shots makes this pretty much just one of the stronger legendaries in the game currently. I'm also running extra ammo, so it can boost the ammo capacity from 4 to 7, because it's really good. The fact that the archer essentially buffs all range damage by having the passive Deadshot, increasing it by 20%, and replenishing headshots that have a chance to not consume ammo when you land a headshot, makes the archer the best class to use this overpowered legendary weapon. Next, I'm running a basic charm. I'm running Spirit Gain as well as Ultimate Gain. I chose gain instead of damage because I wanted at least one source of ultimate gain because I'm using it for its utility more than its damage. That utility being its ability to reload my ammo. Because, similar to the melee weapons, increasing your spirit gain will increase your ammo replenishing when you are going offensive, but it also increases your defensive capabilities by allowing you to heal more often. Last, we have the smoke bomb. In the last slot for your defensive ghost weapons, you have two options, either the smoke bomb or the caltrops. I see a lot of people running the caltrops, specifically the caltrops with all ranged headshot damage in the first slot or all ranged damage in the first slot, to increase the archer's ranged abilities, plus ultimate damage to increase that damage, as well as deep bags. And the reason why is because the deep bags will increase your usage, your stored usages of the caltrops, from 1 to 3. And caltrops are pretty good at staggering enemies, that will allow you to revive teammates in need. I, however, am running the smoke bomb instead. This is because in those moments where you're the last man standing and you need to guarantee a revive, sometimes ranged attacks will stagger you, or sometimes maybe there's just too many enemies that are absorbing the caltrops, where you can't get your revive off. So I prefer smoke bomb. With smoke bomb, since you can't get all range damage up in the first slot, I'm using ghost tool reduction so I can have my smoke bombs more often, as well as class ability cooldown reduction so I can have my class ability more often and be able to reload my lightning gun whenever I need to. I'm also using armory to increase the ammo that I have. So here are all the passives that I'm using. I'm trying to get them all to S rank, but it's taken a while and I'm running out of materials. One last thing I want to mention is I forgot to mention that the charm has foul arrows. You can use instead scavenger if you want even more ammo. However, I want foul arrows just so I can weaken the target and potentially serve as a better teammate for my melee teammates, where they have to, when the target is weakened, they'll hopefully be able to take them down easier without them blocking so much. So basically, foul arrows is more for team play, while if you're playing solo or don't care for team play, I might use scavenger in this slot instead. Well, if you made it through the video, here it is again. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you out there. One more tip in terms of how to get these legendary weapons. I found that doing the nightmare missions that are on weekly rotation have a pretty good drop rate for legendaries. The drop rate for legendaries has definitely been increased since the last game. So the nightmare missions, they generally are not too much harder than the platinum missions. So if you're able to do platinum missions, you might as well do nightmare missions, just for that slight increase chance in getting these weapons. The lightning Tanegashima should drop on all characters, while the skipping stone bow will only drop if you're playing the archer. If you have any suggestions for this build, I'd love to hear them. Please leave it in the comment below and leave a subscribe if this was helpful to you. Thanks for watching.